This is not exactly my story. My sister, Annie, told me about this incident, and I swear it still gives me goosebumps to this day. Annie was working in a fashion magazine as a graphic designer back then. She's always been independent. We grew up in a small town in Wisconsin. Our parents still live there. I was staying in California for my higher studies, and Annie took this job in Mexico. Annie and I often communicated through video calls. The day she moved into her new apartment, she Skyped me and showed me the entire place. It was a 2 BHK apartment, and honestly, a bit big for one person. I told her to get a roommate in case she feels alone, but my sister didn't bother much. She said she enjoys this space, so I didn't say anything more. Our lives went on. Almost every weekend, we connected through video calls and talked for at least an hour. She wasn't dating anyone at the time, but I still told her to be cautious before trusting someone. I just wanted to make sure she was safe. We generally talked during Sunday mornings as it was idle for both of us. So one Sunday, I was waiting to talk to her, but time went by and she didn't call me. I waited till the afternoon and still I didn't see a call. I called her cell phone and she picked up and said, "I'm sorry, Justin, I couldn't get any sleep last night. I woke up late." "Why? Is everything okay? Are you feeling sick?" "Everything's fine. It's just someone kept ringing my doorbell at around 2 a.m. "What? Who was it?" "That's the issue. Every time I opened the door, I found myself standing in the passage alone. There was no one." "Did you tell your landlord about this?" "What can he do? I think someone was just playing a prank on me." "Annie, I don't think you should take this matter so lightly. I'm sending you a set of security cameras. Please install them immediately once you receive my package." My sister kept saying it was nothing, but still, I sent her a set of security cameras. She installed it, and a week passed by without any problem. Until one night, she called me and said in a nervous voice, "Justin, it's happening again. Someone just rang the doorbell. But the scariest part is that no one's in the footage. I'm scared now." I could sense the fear and nervousness in her voice. "Just go to your room and don't answer the door until I get there." I saw the clock. It was 11 p.m. I knew if I drive fast, I'll reach there in about 35 to 40 minutes. I jumped in my car and started the engine. Annie sent me the location of her apartment. When I reached her apartment, I found the entire area in complete silence. I called Annie and asked her for which floor she was on. I rushed to the 3rd floor and rang her doorbell. I bet she saw me in the security monitor. Hence, she opened the door in one go and hugged me in fear. "Oh, Justin, thank God you came." We went inside and I calmed her down. "Tell me everything, Annie. What the hell is going on here?" I said. Annie looked at the security monitor on the wall, right beside the main door. Her eyes widened in terror. She said in a low voice, "I was watching a movie in the living room when suddenly the doorbell rang. I turned back, but there was no one on the security monitor, so this time I didn't open the door. But I heard a chuckle. It felt like a kid's laughter." "Ah, this is the matter then. A kid is playing ding-dong ditch with you. We all did this when we were kids. I'm sure the kid rang the doorbell and ran away before you could see him." "But even to ring the doorbell, he has to stand right in front of the door." "Not necessarily, Annie. You don't know the kids of this age. They're way smarter than you and myself. I'm sure the kid noticed the camera outside. Anyway, let's wait for him to come back again." Annie made some fried chicken, and I told her to go to sleep. I decided to stay awake and watch for the kid to come again. I laid on the couch and waited for the bell to ring again. An hour went by and the clock struck to 2 a.m. I maybe dozed off on the couch when the doorbell rang again. I almost jumped from the couch and rushed towards the monitor, but this time, I saw a kid standing outside. It was a little boy, and he kept his head down, which is why I couldn't see his face. I asked without opening the door, "Are you lost, kiddo?" He didn't answer. He just stood there in the same manner, so I asked again, "Is it you who's been ringing the doorbell all this time and running away?" The kid lifted his face and looked into the camera. I have never seen such a creepy face. I mean, if I'm explaining it right, His face was completely bloodless. There were dark patches under his bright big eyes. His thin lips were dry like a cemented surface. I never ran away. I stood here each time, but Annie couldn't see me. You know my sister? Why didn't she save me that day? What? I went to open the door and welcome the kid inside. As soon as I unlocked the door and twisted the doorknob, I heard Annie scream behind. No! Justin! Don't open the door! Annie sprinted towards me and slammed herself on the door. Don't open the door! He's trying to get in! What the hell is wrong with you? It's just a kid, Annie. No, you're not getting it! The kid standing on the other side of the door died last month. What? I couldn't believe my ears. I looked at the camera again and saw the kid disturbingly smile at the camera. His skin was coming off. Blood was dripping from his eyes. He came extremely close to the camera and said, "She should have saved me! Why didn't she save me? Why? The kid then opened his black mouth, and all the lights of the apartment smashed at once. The screen on the security monitor shattered too. There was glass everywhere. I can't tell you how I got Annie out of that apartment and brought her to my place that night. She had a fever for almost a week, and in her sleep she often cried, saying, "He's ringing the bell again." When she finally got a bit better, I came to know the entire story. The kid's name was Mike. He lived on the same floor as her. One day, it was raining heavily. A thunderstorm was also going on. Annie returned home from work. She just moved in that time. While she was unlocking the door, she saw Mike running to the roof, crying. She heard his parents fighting in their apartment. Annie followed him. When she got to the roof, she saw Mike was sitting on the edge of the roof. She screamed and pleaded for him to get down, but the kid didn't listen. She started walking towards him to pull him down, but before she could reach him, a bolt of lightning struck in near distance, scaring the hell out of this little kid, and he lost his balance. Mike died falling from the roof of this 7-storied building. My sister couldn't save him that day. Annie and I visited Mike's grave last week. I hope the kid's soul rests in peace. Before starting the story, I would suggest you guys to go subscribe to the channel. It turns out that most of you guys who watch me aren't actually subscribed. So, if you like the content and want to support the channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. Okay. I'll stay here until the file arrives. As soon as I got off the call, I noticed the time. It was 9:30, and I was still stuck in the damned office. I've been working here as a software engineer for the last 2 years. Work pressure in an IT company can be unbearable sometimes. I wanted to go home early today, but see my rotten luck. Now I have to wait until the last file arrives. I went to my cabin and fired up my laptop once again. There's probably no one in the building right now. I looked around. This is not the first time I got stuck in a night shift, though. God knows how long I have to wait now. I started watching some YouTube videos to pass the time, but my eyes were becoming heavy. I slapped my cheek lightly, saying, "Come on, Andrew, wake up." I got up to get some coffee from the cafeteria. As I walked down the empty office space, I understood how chaotic things get here in the morning. I was enjoying the silence to some extent. I reached near the coffee machine and started to pour myself a cup of strong black coffee. While I was doing so, a kiddish idea came to my mind. I took the coffee and walked straight to the security room in the corner of the cafeteria. I swiped my card and got inside. Due to a long night shift, the office gave me this master key, which unlocks each and every door in the building. I have a fascination for the security room. The cameras are still on, and I saw every passage and corridor flaunting on the big screen. I sat in front of it and decided to check the building just to pass the time. I took a sip of the warm coffee and started to go through every camera in this building. The cubicles were empty, and so were the office cabins. I was shifting to another floor. just when I saw the lift on the ground floor opening. Who's coming here at this hour? As soon as the lift door slid, I saw a woman wearing a blue dress walk in. I never saw her, and I was sure she didn't work here, because then I would have known her. She stood in the hallway and took out a cell phone from her purse. I wasn't the peeping Tom, but I wanted to know what she was doing in an IT company at this hour of the night. She dialed up someone. I had no doubt she took the elevator from the basement. The parking lot is in the basement. She talked to someone for a few seconds and then stood there waiting. Within 15 minutes, the elevator door opened once again and she got inside. It was clear that someone was in the elevator, and that is the person who she came to meet here. I kept going on each floor to see who these people were. The elevator stopped at the 3rd floor, and the woman came out with my boss. What the hell? My boss, Mr. Newman, left early today. Everybody knows today is his anniversary party. What is he doing here at this hour? And who is that woman? I kept following them through the camera. They walked past the corridor and went to his cabin. They came near the cabin door and exchanged a kiss. Then, my boss took her inside his cabin and closed the door. My eyes were fixed on my boss's cabin, but there was no way I could see inside. I soon realized that Mr. Newman was having an affair with this lady. What a guy, ditching his wife on their anniversary to make out with another woman in his very own office. I took him as a person of good character, but after seeing these things, I felt bad for his wife. The respect I had for Mr. Newman was crushed. I thought they would make out for some time and leave eventually, so I shifted to another floor. But curiosity can get us in trouble, and I realized it that night. After fooling around for 10 to 15 minutes, I couldn't stop myself but to get back to the camera outside his cabin. But now, there came a change in scenario. The woman was standing near the cabin door. Due to the transparent glass door, I could see her. Also, she was standing right behind the door, which is why the security camera could capture her. I could tell from her body language that she was having a fight with my boss. Suddenly, she pushed the door and came out to leave. Mr. Newman came rushing behind her and started to calm her down. She was screaming and moving her hands in anger, but after some time, she calmed down. Mr. Newman told her something, and she hugged him back in joy. Jesus, what a circus, I uttered to myself. Then they started to walk towards the elevator again. Within 10 minutes, I heard the elevator ding. They were coming this way now. I quickly clicked on the camera of the cafeteria and saw them entering. I didn't make any sound because I had no intention of getting caught for eavesdropping on my boss's affair. So I just sat inside the security room and watched them. I still couldn't hear them talk. The woman sat down near a table in the cafeteria, and Mr. Newman brought 2 cups of coffee. I could see an extreme change in her behavior. She was being all mushy and joyful now. Mr. Newman said something and got up. She nodded her head and concentrated on her coffee. I followed Mr. Newman's every move. I thought he was going to use the washroom. Instead, he sneaked into the kitchen behind the cafeteria. I immediately clicked on the kitchen area, and what I saw scared me to death. Mr. Newman was holding a knife in his hand and looking for something else as well. This guy was planning to murder this woman. I had to do something. I got up immediately and tiptoed towards the cafeteria. The woman was sitting facing her back at me. I went close to her and covered her mouth with my hand before she could scream. I'm here to save you. Please don't be scared. I'm gonna take my hand off, but you must not scream if you want to leave. She nodded her head and I took my hand off her mouth. She then looked at me with fearful eyes. Hurry up and come with me. Mr. Newman has a knife with him. He wants to murder you. Her face changed as she couldn't believe me. We got up and turned around. Where do you think you two are going? Mr. Newman, please don't do this. I know what you have behind your back. What? I'm not doing anything. Mona, don't trust him. Come with me. He's trying to lure you into his trap. No, Mona, you have to believe me. I saw him going to the kitchen and grab a knife. I've seen your every move since you got into this building. I was there in the security room this whole time. You skunk. You think you can stop me? Mr. Newman jumped on me with the knife and stabbed me deep in the shoulder. I fell on the floor in enormous pain, and he kept saying, I will finish both of you and get rid of your dead bodies before anyone can find you. I am a very powerful man. He then went towards Mona with the knife. She screamed at the top of her lungs. Mr. Newman raised his hand, and I saw the sharp steel shining in the light. But before he could stab her, I grabbed a chair and hit him hard on his head. He passed out on the floor, and blood started to flow underneath his head. I think you can all guess what happened next. Mona called the cops, and I was taken to the hospital by the paramedics. She told the cops how Mr. Newman had an affair with her for the last year, but when she came to know about him being married, she threatened him, saying she'll tell his wife about them. Mr. Newman promised her that he would divorce his wife and get married to her. Had I not watched them through the security cameras, she would have been dead, and her body would have disappeared into thin air. This happened to me recently. I live in a suburb with my wife, Kiara, and my son, Matthew, nicknamed Matt. We recently moved here and hardly know people in the neighborhood. I worked in consumer services, and my job often landed me in different places, staying away from home. My wife is a yoga teacher, and she recently started online classes. Our son, Matt, is a toddler, hence one of us must stay around for him all the time. My wife is a very strong woman, and I believe every woman is, but this one incident gave me an actual realization that she is our guardian angel. Due to the excess pressure at work, I wasn't able to spend enough time with my family. This messed up work routine got to me, and one day I decided to leave the job and start working on my own. I developed a website to create a perfect work-from-home environment. I ordered machinery and some tech stuff online. One fine morning, I got a call from the delivery guy that my orders are arriving today. I stood at the house porch and waited for the truck to arrive. While I was standing there, certainly on my property, I heard a man yell at me. Hey you! What do you think you're doing, huh? I'm sorry, but what? I saw you looking at my house. You don't give a damn about people's privacy, it seems. What? I'm standing on my house porch and I have no interest in your house, mister. Why don't you just relax? You're new here. That's why you don't know me. No one messes with me. Well, people have jobs unlike you, idiot. The delivery truck came and dropped off my packages. I picked them up and went inside without paying any more attention to that man. But I noticed his furious face checking me out like a vulture. Kiara came to help me and said, Who were you talking to? Seems like we have a good-for-nothing neighbor. What a piece of shit. Relax, hun. We just moved in. Once everyone starts to know us, I'm sure they'll like us. Just give it some time. But something in my heart kept telling me this man won't stop right there. One evening, I was playing with my son sitting in our living room. Kiara went out to get some groceries. After 10 to 15 minutes, I heard her car pulling in our driveway. But she didn't enter the house. I thought she needed help with the bags, but as soon as I came out, I found the car door wide open, and Kiara wasn't there. Kiara? Where are you? I'm over here, honey. I'm at the back. I went there and saw she was inspecting our back door and windows. What are you doing here? I was parking the car when I saw this man coming from our backyard. I couldn't see his face, but as soon as he saw me, he ran away like a criminal. I think he was trying to get inside from this back door. It could have been anyone, a homeless man or some passerby, but I don't know why I felt it was our psycho neighbor. That night, I couldn't sleep well. I woke up randomly thinking someone was trying to get into our house. My paranoia went to such a level that I started to walk around the house at night, checking every window and door. A week passed by and things started to get back to normal. I casually went out for a walk one Sunday afternoon. Kiara took Matt to her mother's house and I was feeling bored. I was walking down the lakeside and admiring the view when suddenly a hand grabbed my shoulder. I turned back immediately and saw a man in his late 50s standing behind me with a greeting smile. "Hi, I'm Erickson. You must be the new member in town." "Yeah, nice to meet you, I'm David." Mr. Erickson took me to his farm nearby, and I had a couple of beers with him. He's the first person in this town who came and talked to me. I liked him for his welcoming nature and thought to ask him about the crazy neighbor guy. As soon as I mentioned him, I saw Mr. Erickson's face was getting worried. "Well, David, I wouldn't mess with a guy like that if I was you. He's pretty reckless, you know." "Why? Who is this freak?" "His name's Marshall. He has a bad reputation around here. Some say he got away with a murder, and some say he did prison for 10 years under the charges of burglary, theft, and drug dealing. Some people saw him carrying a gun as well. It's better to avoid people like that." While coming home, my eyes went to Marshall's house. He was mowing his lawn. He looked at me at that very moment, and our eyes met. He gave me a cold death stare, and I regretted calling him an idiot that day. When Kiara returned, I told her everything about Marshall. She noticed my paranoia, and I think I kinda scared her too. We both decided to set up security cameras at our main door and back door, but never thought it would save our lives. After finishing our dinner, we all went to bed. I drank too much wine that night, hence I fell asleep immediately. I don't remember exactly the time that I woke up hearing a noise. I was still feeling drunk, so I called out to my wife. Kiara, do you hear the noise?" "What noise? Is it raining outside?" "No, why?" "Then where is this splashing sound coming from?" "I'll go check. Might have left a tap open." Kiara went to check and I was dozing off again when she pushed me vigorously and said, "David, get up! Get up!" "Why? What's going on?" "That crazy guy, Marshall, he's splashing water on our back door." As soon as I heard Marshall's name, I sprung out of bed. I got so furious that I decided to end this for once and all. I walked to the back door to kick his ass, but as soon as I reached near the door, I smelled something. Water-like liquid was all over the back door, and some even floated inside the house. Except, it wasn't water at all. "Oh my God, he's trying to burn the house down!" We turned on the security monitor and saw that he was splashing gallons of gasoline on our back door. I immediately called 911, but I knew he was going to light the fire soon, and my entire family would burn alive. I opened the back door and Marshall was shocked, finding me face to face. I went to throw a punch on him, but I was too drunk, and he pushed me on the wall hard. He turned around to run away and found Kiara standing behind him. Before he could hurt her, Kiara kicked him in the nuts and punched him in the face. Marshall fell to the ground in pain. We screamed, and people in our neighborhood came out. The cops took Marshall into custody, and now he's rotting in prison for his devilish deeds. I'm proud of my wife, and she didn't just defeat a notorious criminal, but also saved her entire family.